Hello, Vaping World YouTube community and anybody and everybody in between. Thank you for joining me on this review. I'm hoping you all are having a good day, morning, evening, depending on where you are located in the world. Today's review I am going to be doing on a new all-in-one or AIO system that it just hit the market, and I know a lot of you have already seen it or know about it, but it is the Junior from CKS brand. CKS stands for Cloud Kicker Societies. A huge group involved with many aspects of vaping, not just making devices or juices, nic salts, vaping advocacy, things like that, but they're all about just everything dealing with vaping, its community, its members, family members, things like that. They're all about that, so definitely check them out. Now the device in question is this right here, and this is the Junior. If I can get that to focus, there you go. And that is one of 6 panels available. That is the strike panel. And it was just one that popped out to me. Having the red characters behind the Fujin logo, it just makes it pop that much more, and I just thought it has a very striking look to it, so hence it called Strike. And I thought that it was pretty neat. So as you can see right here on the front of this, you have your fire on-off button, you have your power setting button, so there are 3 settings that you can do, your micro USB and your charging light, power level light. On the back there is a lanyard loophole, so it does not come with a lanyard, but if you do have one or you come across one that you want to use in there, you can loop it in the back like that. And then as I stated, it is not very big. It is literally 3.32 inches by 1.75 inches by 0.75 inches. So it's basically about the same normal size as a lot of other, devices, on-the-go devices that are this size or this style. All-in-ones, the main difference between all-in-ones and regular pod devices is just the simple fact that all-in-ones, you're changing out the coils regularly instead of the pods. The pods are built to last longer, so you just swap out coils instead of a refillable pod where you're just tossing the pods out every few Phillips. So with this device, you do get the device. You get a 3 milliliter pod, 3 milliliters, not the standard 2, so it is nice to have that extra milliliter in there. You get 2.6 mesh coils. They also make a mouth to lung coil, and they also make a ceramic coil that at the time of this video I don't think was available yet, but they said they are coming out on the market here soon. It comes with a micro USB cable, and it comes with 2 drip tips. One is the standard drip tip, which is this one here, and then the other one comes in their little bag. It is this is their MTL or mouth to lung shorty drip tip, and then has a couple little O-ring extras, an extra fill port plug, and it comes with 2 coils. I have one in here. Now, if you've read my post, I did say that I had kind of a snafu with this thing. The first coil that I put in here, I did set up and have connected. I don't know why all of a sudden there we go. Hi. The first coil I put in here, I did have connection issues with it. I believe it was just a bad coil, so I had to use the second one, but it does come normally with 2. And then to get access to the pod and the coil and everything else, the one side panel pops off. It is held in by magnets, and the magnet is pretty solid. I mean, there is some strength to that. It's not something that, obviously if you drop this, it's going to crack and break this, or the panel's going to pop off, but just in standard usage, it does hold pretty well. So the inside of your device looks like this. It has the CKS lettering in there. It says Junior on the bottom, and then there is your pod. And the easiest way to take this out is you just kind of gently just push down on the drip tip and pull the pod out, and it slides out. So then you have your connection port right in there, and the inside that houses the pod. And then the other side is just solid. The panel doesn't come off. So this is your pod. It is 3 milliliters. That arrow right in there, the fill port tube, the hole is actually underneath the head part of this black arrow right in there. I would open it to show you, but I don't want the juice to leak out. But if I kind of hold it at an angle, you can see it. There is your fill port. And I was actually quite impressed. The fill port is actually quite large. The juice that I'm using has a plastic stem nozzle on it, and it fit in there completely fine without having any problems. So I do like that they accommodated more of an opening to make filling it a lot easier like that. There is your drip tip. This is your adjustable airflow ring that is on the bottom of your coil, so you can adjust that if you want to. And then when you unscrew this, your coil is attached to this cap. You just unscrew that coil, screw in the new one, place that in, screw that back in. It's almost very similar to like the Breeze 2 or technically any AIO device where you're swapping out coils. The coil usually screws into the airflow cap like this, and then this just inserts up in there. But that is your pod. And when you, now you can't see it obviously when you have it in your device, but to pop the panel off, it's not a big deal, just to check your fluid level, things like that. So that's basically the overall device in itself. 5 clicks to turn this on, and then it flashes the green to let you know that it's powered up. So if you press the power level button once, it'll let you know what level that you're on. I have it on all 3, which is their bypass mode. If you click it again after hitting it once, you can adjust the power level. So there's the lowest, there's your medium, and then there's your high. Now I'm running this with standard e-liquid. It's a 70-30 mix, 6 nicotine. I normally vape at 3, but in smaller devices I go up to a 6 just so that it has a little bit better of a hit or feel. If you're using nic salts, myself, I would probably suggest using it on the low or the medium. On the thicker liquids, the medium to the high setting is probably the best bet, just because it is thicker and it does burn differently than the nic salts. But this, it does run both, whether it's regular e-liquids, nic salts. It even runs CBD liquid, that is the vapable kind, not all CBD liquids, because some of them you can't vape, but the ones that you can vape, this will run. The material is an ABS polycarbonate, and I'll get to that in 1 second, because I do have a couple of pros and cons about this specifically that I want to touch base on, but I do want to show you how this hits. Now I will tell you, I have used a few other pod style devices. I was definitely very impressed with the way that this hits, just simply because it gives off a lot more vapor than you would expect for a device this slow, or this low, a little, sorry. But even in just a mouth to lung version, that's a pretty decent amount. You definitely feel that, and I mean, at least I do. Especially, like I said, I'm not a nic salt user, so even on the regular liquid at a 6, I definitely do feel that. But even if you can take a deeper hit, and it definitely gives off a decent amount of vapor production for a little device. Now, me personally, I've noticed that the more lung hits that you use on this, you start to get a gurgling out of the pod. So to me, and this is just my specific opinion, I feel like this device definitely is designed more as a mouth to lung hitter. You can take a little bit stronger hits than a standard mouth to lung, but obviously this isn't, it is meant to be like a daily device for those people who prefer the smaller ones, but it's not meant to be hitting like, you know, your sub-ohm tanks or your drippers, obviously. So if you're going to be trying to take a hit like that out of it, it's definitely not something that me myself would suggest. It's not going to do anything bad. You just may dry out the coil faster. It just may not wick properly, or you just may end up, like I said, with gurgling or spit back, things like that. It's just not designed or specifically designed to be able to hit like, you know, the bigger tanks and the bigger devices and things like that. But even if it's just on a straight mouth to lung, it definitely does its job very well. So as I said, it has a 3 mil capacity pod. If you are in the UK, they do have the compliant version, which is a 2 mil. This does do 3 power settings, and I said the highest one, the max version, is a bypass. It's a 3.8 volt setting. Medium is a 3.5, and the lowest is a 3.2. And the materials, like I said, the body is an ABS polycarbonate. The doors are made out of ferritic stainless steel. The pods with the coils have 5 layers of natural cotton with organic flax blend blended in as well. So overall, they've taken the time to make this a quality device. The only couple of issues that I have with this, they're mostly personal opinion issues. Other people may not care about that, and that's fine. It's just something that I myself might have just feel a need to talk about. But the doors are a stainless steel type, but the body itself, it really just feels like a hard plastic. And I'm not sure if they went with that because it's cheaper, it makes it lighter, if it's just easier to make it that way. I know a lot of people prefer some of the smaller devices because they're made out of like the zinc alloy steel or aluminum, so they have more of a durability feel to it. Having the plastic feel, it just kind of, I know some people are going to say that it kind of cheapens it. I don't think so much that it cheapens it, but it makes you more worried about whether or not you're going to crack it if you squeeze too hard, or especially if it falls over or gets knocked or drops. It's definitely going to take a hit like that. It's not designed to stand up to that. So maybe I don't know, I thought maybe they would have made it a little bit more stronger as far as material wise. There is a little bit, like when you squeeze it, if you hear it, it almost has kind of like whenever you squeeze anything plastic, you get kind of that creak sound to it. So there is that. The button has a little bit of a give. It doesn't have rattle, but there's a slight bit of give to that. I know for some people that does bother them. I actually know a few people personally that does bother, but to me it's not a big deal. I mean, the button works. I haven't had any issues with that. And then it just on the top, because of the plastic, I'm guessing, or it's because the door is a magnet, but the pod, you kind of feel like there's a little, you can see that it kind of pushes out because it just has a bit of, it's spring loaded, so to speak, the connection. So you kind of feel like that pops out in a way. But like I said, I mean, it's all more of a personal aesthetic. I mean, overall as a device, it hits amazing for what it is. I'm very impressed with the power of it. I'm impressed with the feel of the vape that I get off of this. Like I said, you know, for the size of it and for the fact that it does run regular e-liquid, is definitely something that I highly recommend if you are looking for a daily device or a device to use outside of like the big dual battery, single battery, big box devices, things like that. But definitely check this out. You can get this on the CKS site directly, or you can also go to usvofficial.com and order it off of there as well. So until next time, thank you very much for watching this review. If you have any questions, let me know. I will answer them to the best of my ability. If you'd be so kind, there is a like and subscribe button down on the bottom. I'd be so most grateful for that. But until next time, always truly love yourself and always keep it cloudy.